Apple had their developer conference. They kind of released their whole AI strategy. The big thing that I saw was, and Elon brought this out, he basically said that like these guys didn't build anything. Mm-hmm. They're using OpenAI. They're integrating that with Siri. They're integrating it within the chat. So they're basically renting OpenAI's platform. The features are ChatGPT integration, and this will include everything from Siri to Mail, AI-assisted writing tools, image generation. You'll be able to describe an image in a few words and then have it rendered in a variety of styles. So I think that's pretty cool. This I do not like. Real-time call transcripts. In the notes and phone apps, users will be able to record, transcribe, and summarize audio.
Don't like that at all.
Making the first time Apple devices have included a built-in feature for recording phone calls. Participants will be automatically notified that the call is being recorded. Fuck that feature.
That's terrible.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, Cathy's, we are back with only two folks today.
Yeah.
Anand this time. Anand was gone. Elite, West Coast liberal elite, jaunts off to Europe for no reason.
No, for a very important reason.
Sure. Were you a diplomat somewhere?
Yeah, I was.
You were. What were you guys solving?
I can only talk about half of it.
Okay.
So we went to Paris for 3 nights, and a few things that came to mind is Paris is kind of like LA. So we went to Hotel Coast for a drink during the day. That's like what people do, right? I mean, you go a bunch. So yeah. I haven't been I don't think I've been to Paris in like 7 years, to be honest. Brian's wedding, maybe. Was that 6-7 years ago? Yeah. Something like that. And go there, run into Mente, Raisa, Dre London.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it felt like you're just like an LA, spot.
Yeah.
And that was really cool because I didn't know any of them were there.
Yeah. Everyone's there though. Like Paris.
Why is everyone always in Paris?
The hot city.
It is a hot city.
It's like, think about it. Like, what are the cities in the world where you want to be? You want to be in LA. You want to be in Miami. You want to be in New York. You want to be in Paris. You'll probably run into people in Tokyo. There's like 5-6 cities you run into people. That's Paris, one of them. Yeah.
No, it was actually like pretty cool because I didn't expect to run into anyone. Yeah. And we were with like another couple, Eric and Shannon, and we were just like doing our thing. And there was nothing coordinated.
Yeah.
It was just like
randomly
totally random, which was pretty awesome. Because you go to Paris during the hot times.
Yeah, go during fashion.
Because this wasn't a hot time. Yeah. This was just like a normal week in Paris.
But like, it's like, I travel so much. I'll be random cities, and I always run.
Like when you go to Fashion Week, you're of course going to run into everybody. Like everyone.
Yeah.
But this was just like a random week in June.
Well, summer is kicked off.
Yeah.
Festivities have started.
And so another observation, the Chinese are back.
Okay. That's good.
So the Chinese were everywhere in Paris. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming they're consuming.
Yeah, that's good.
And then you get the VAT tax refund.
Yeah.
So I'd assume, the luxury houses are doing
very
well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was one other interesting observation, which I didn't expect. And the last one, so the day we were leaving, Sleepy was in town.
Okay. For D-Day, right?
For D-Day.
Yeah.
And we book a car to go to the airport the night before. And we walk down like pretty early in the morning and everything's shut.
Yeah.
Because they don't tell.
Yeah, you can't tell.
You can't tell anyone because of like, security reasons.
Yeah.
And the whole street shut. There's like hundreds of cops. It's just chaos. It's actually like insane how, I mean, I get it. Like you have to protect the president of the United States and big leaders, but it's a pretty big nuisance.
To wherever they go.
Wherever they go.
Yeah. By the way, like I can't tell you how many cities I've been to in the last month and Sleepy's been there.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Why is he asleep?
Literally, I was in San Francisco. We saw Marine One come by because they were doing a fundraiser.
Yeah.
We were in New York. Streets closed. Sleepy's in town. This guy's everywhere.
He's everywhere. And Zelensky was in town too. Why is he there?
Vacation. Shopping.
Yeah. So
I'm sure he came because Biden's there.
yeah, just get
Biden
another
will meet him.
10
Get some
bill.
FaceTime.
Get another 10, 20 billion.
Pickpocket him while he's sleeping.
But yeah, no, I mean, Paris was, it was obviously an awesome experience. And it's like you said, you just run into people. And like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. It's great.
Like if you're in New York, of course you run into people, you know.
But Paris, you know, the world's global.
Yeah, I think everyone's
People are global. I mean, people just hopping up. Like European travel this summer is supposed to exceed last year. So when you look at, I think what's happening is that the popular places are getting way more popular, and the places that people don't care about, no one goes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people are double downing on travel, and they're going to the place. It's what happens at restaurants and you know, hotels. People just all go to the same hotels, the same restaurants. People just double down. Like if you're gonna go spend money, might as well just go to Paris and London. You know what you're getting. A great experience. You have a good
Great
time.
experience. You can't go wrong with any restaurant you go to, any cafe.
I would say from a food wise, for me particularly, I've not enjoyed Paris, and I've eaten
Even those like corner cafes, those omelets are amazing.
Yeah, I think breakfast is fine, but from a dinner perspective, I would say like I have to go intentionally to a restaurant that kind of services a vegetarian. Like I've had some really great Italian meals, but French cuisine in general is not very
that's fair. It's like very
friendly.
beef heavy, veal.
Yeah, a lot of veal.
A lot of
I don't even
veal.
know what that is, but it's a lot going on there.
Yeah, no, I mean everything was busy to be honest. So like, I guess tourism is still. I mean, this is also starting
The peak.
the busy season.
Yeah, and then I'm sure because of the Olympic kind of setup, traffic was crazy.
That was also a disaster.
Yeah.
The Olympics, between the Olympics and Sleepy.
You couldn't get around.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
tough.
mean, Paris is a tough city to get around in general. Like it's not an easy city to navigate unless you use public transportation.
We walked, to be honest,
Yeah, if you don't have to be anywhere at a certain time,
Yeah,
you
because
can leisurely walk.
we wanted to go to some restaurant by Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Is that the way you say it?
yeah. Sure.
And it was a 30-minute walk versus a 30-minute Uber, which
Yeah.
probably would have been a 45-minute Uber.
Yeah.
So we just walked.
Yeah, if you can walk, and if you're just staying in those, you know, more popular parts of town, then you can walk is great. But yeah, I mean, the subway's pretty convenient. I take the bike.
You've done the subway?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah, I take the subway all the time. I just can't send an Uber in any of these cities anymore. New York, Paris is a joke.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
The security thing really scares me on the subway.
In all cities?
All cities.
Yeah. It's good content though.
What do you mean?
Like in Paris,
No, I'm talking about terrorist stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because I have this one incident. This is 2005, right after I graduated college, and it scarred me. And I have not ridden a subway, I think 99% of the time because of it.
Yeah.
3 of my college friends went to visit our friend Ankit in London, and we stayed at his place. And we're just all using the metro, right? We have no money. It's like $2. You go wherever. And the last day, we use the subway to go the whatever exit he's at, and we head to the airport. And there was a terrorist attack at the subway we just left, like 6 hours after we left.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not doing it."
And speaking of terrorists, yesterday 8 people suspected to ties with ISIS were arrested in New York City, Philly, and LA. They're from Tajikistan.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how they came?
The southern border.
They walked right in. All the things that, you know, like 2 years ago when conservative media was saying, do you know what's happening? Do you know what's happening? And everyone just mocked. I think you mocked too.
Yeah. So I'll say 2 things. The southern border is a problem. I think
You admit it now.
Yeah, both sides agree. We need to go down there and just see how
It's
easy it
closed.
is.
Sleepy just shut it down.
But the other important thing to note is how good our intelligence services are.
We shouldn't have to be good if we just shut the fucking border down.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but it also shows how much they're tracking us. They know everything about us,
It's great.
which Snowden doesn't like that.
Snowden's not an American.
So when we got back to,
Who gives a shit what he thinks now?
when we go back, I know you travel internationally a ton. I don't. And global entry, you just put your passport and walk right through. And I was thinking
You don't
to
even
myself,
put your passport anymore.
yeah, they just take a
Picture.
and there's like Amanda, Anand, go
Yeah.
through. It took 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And
There's
I was thinking about it like, why is this? I was like, they have so much data on us
Yeah.
that they don't even need to like ask us questions.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, we know who to track and who not to track.
Yeah.
There's a list. The list is probably long. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. You guys are just normal citizens.
Where are you from? Tajikistan? Get over here on it.
Yeah, have you been questioned once? I've traveled actually 3 times in the last year.
I get more questioned when I go to other countries.
Really?
Yes. What are you doing here?
What's your business?
Yeah. I say big business. But yeah, I mean, like when you read 8 ISIS members and then they figured out that they tracked these guys because like these guys came in illegally.
You gotta imagine. You gotta give them credit. It's impressive that they found them.
Yeah, because these idiots are probably on their phone texting.
What's
like,
up?
Hey,
Whatever.
what's up? Are we gonna blow this shit up today?
Yeah, they
And
said
then done 5
they
seconds
said like
later.
the messages said or the phone call said bombs.
Yeah, done.
But how they know? That's what's insane about how much we're being tracked.
Yeah,
That people don't get.
yeah,
These guys came illegally,
Yeah.
so no one knows they're even in
Yeah.
the country.
yeah,
But they heard the phone calls,
yeah.
they heard bombs, and they arrested all of them.
Unbelievable. That's hot.
It's pretty good.
I'm okay with, like I understand the risk because it can be used against you. And I bet you it is constantly being used against people because they have access to your data. I get it. I understand. I understand the fears that the average person has. But there's a give and take that society has to give, like
Yeah.
for
I
safety
mean, there's
of
a
your
reason
people.
that, knock on wood, since 9/11, there hasn't been a catastrophic terrorist attack that
I mean, there's been
no, but those are all homegrown.
yeah. You're saying
Like
like
the
an
club in Florida,
yeah, yeah,
San Bernardino, I believe,
yeah.
a few others.
Yeah. Like all this, you're saying excluding like school shooting type stuff. Yeah.
But foreign people
Yeah.
flying
Foreign,
in
yeah.
and coming in and
Yeah.
fucking up shit.
Yeah.
Because all those were like homegrown
Local terrorists.
Americans.
Which even that, I know there's still a lot of gun violence in America. Even those shootings seem like they've tapered down, hopefully, because they're tracking everyone. If someone's posting shit on Facebook or Instagram, you should fucking go after them right
Yeah.
away. Like you got to thwart those.
I think we're basically in a police state in America where everything's tracked. Your phones are tracked. Drones are everywhere.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, in Beverly Hills, there's drones
I see them all the time.
all the time. Just,
Yeah.
and then they, at the police station, they're watching what the drones are capturing
Yeah.
to see if there's any like
Yeah.
things that are probably not happening. So
Interesting. All right, let's get into some more news. The big news of the day is Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chair, came out. He has decided not to cut interest rates today. No one expected that he would.
Yep.
The CPI came in a little light, which everyone liked. It predicted 3.4%, came in at 3.3. Obviously, all this is all bullshit numbers.
it's all nonsense.
It's all nonsense. But Fed said we made some progress.
Yeah.
And it feels now that there might be 2 rate cuts happening.
So the betting markets are pricing in 2 rate cuts. Powell said 1.
Okay. I mean, he can't say 2 because then everyone's going to think 3.
And the NASDAQ ripped.
I think one of the reasons the NASDAQ ripped is Apple has gone.
Would they buy like
berserk.
450 billion stock buyback?
Yes. So, I mean, I think Apple was trading at like 191 3 days ago. It is at 210.
Yeah, so that's like 300, 400 billion of market cap.
Yes.
Which is more than 99.9% of companies.
On Earth.
Yes. There's like only the Magnificent Seven
Yeah.
are worth more than that.
And barely. And what's interesting, so, you know, just to touch on the inflation piece first, we're now pricing in this rate cut. And we now have a clear path that there will be some sort of cuts. But I think the other interesting piece is like the data. They wanted 2% inflation.
They're not getting
They're
it.
not going to get it unless they change the way they track inflation. I don't even see how that inflation number came in light. What the fuck has dropped?
So there's two different things that I want to point out. One, I saw an article that basically said all these crops, like how sugar is made, cocoa, like all these different things that are very important ingredients to food. Climate change had disrupted a lot of these crops. So the prices have risen.
Yep.
To how to buy all these crops that we all need for food to feed the entire world and the country that obviously we're in. And that's not solvable by just jacking up interest rates.
Yep.
So like, how do you balance that? And then the second point, Brad Gerstner, who's the founder of Altimeter Capital, he's like a famous tech investor. He's very public. He's always on CNBC. He posted a graph that where inflation is and over like the last like 20 years.
Yep.
And where Fed interest rates, and there's a massive gap, meaning interest rates are way too high.
Yeah.
Given where inflation is.
Elizabeth Warren even came out and said yesterday.
Yeah, Warren came out and said this is not right. Like you like raising interest rates at this point doesn't solve like crops and food inflation.
No.
It does not.
No. Well, it is if demand completely collapses.
What do you mean? So like people just don't eat?
Yes. They're so poor that they stop eating.
Starve?
Yeah. If you starve, prices will go down.
Yeah, but it's affecting like, this is the problem. It's affecting the lowest income people. And that Warren, who I don't agree with a lot of what she says, but she's a progressive.
Yeah.
She knows
her constituents are fucked.
Yeah. Or like at least the people she feels like she's governing for.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Yeah.
Food prices are insane.
Yeah.
You can't buy a house. Rent is wild.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. And this isn't solved by this one mechanism.
Yeah.
What are the 60 PhDs that work for the Fed doing?
They play hating degrees.
I think that's it. But like you can't solve a lot of these problems because of climate change, wars in Middle East, like shipping containers not being able to go through the Middle East because of the
my
wars
God, we had to ship something last week. The fucking prices are $6,500 a container again.
I have
$6,500, and then they quoted us on another one for $8,000. It was $1,500 3 months ago.
I have a friend, I can't say his name, but he listens to the pod. He's in that region in the shipping business.
Yeah.
And he said the wars are the greatest thing to happen to them.
Because they're charging
Because they
crazy.
had a COVID boom.
Yeah. And then
bust. And it slumped. And now the wars are all happening.
Yeah.
And he goes, we're crushing it.
Yeah.
Record profits.
There's price because they're price gouging.
But my point is interest rates can't solve that.
Yeah.
You can't solve global conflict. You can't solve climate change.
Yeah.
You can't solve any of these things. So all you're doing is hurting the American consumer.
The problem is some parts of inflation will be adversely affected by cutting interest rates.
Let's think about it.
Okay, so your credit card bill.
We already have max credit card debt.
So
consumer credit
and we
card
talked about in the last episode about credit card spend decline was pretty significant last month. And what you're seeing now is potentially an interest rate cut, which would lower interest rate payments on credit cards, which frees up cash. Where that cash gets spent may have inflationary impact is the problem.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so you're already maxed on your credit cards. You have a lower interest rate. So
Do you think people are capable of prioritizing needs over wants? They're not.
no. And then, you know,
So
we
that's my
always
point.
talked about the 70 trillion that the boomers are, it's 76.
6 extra.
We just added
That's
6
2
trillion.
apples.
That's the new stimmy.
Yeah.
And
But that predominantly helps middle and upper middle class Americans. I would say predominantly white and Asian
okay. Yeah. That's
who
fair.
lived in corporate America.
Yep.
Right. So, and that is what is that? Half the country?
So the 76 trillion, it's global, right? Can't be America only.
No one else has any money. Maybe 74 is American. 2 is the rest who has money anywhere in the world? The average, think about it like this. You take a country like
I think Hawaii will have massive inflation because that's where Americans go.
Paris.
Paris.
We own Paris. America owns it. We own all these cities. Without Chinese are great, but America funds the world.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. If we don't show up to your city, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And so if you look at, think about it, how many Americans have millions of dollars saved up? There's a fuckload.
Well, clearly 76 trillion.
Okay. So there's so
who knows
many Americans have millions of dollars in 401ks and real estate in their as an asset.
Yeah. Think about any metropolitan city. There's no real estate under $1 million and it's probably paid off.
Yeah. Right. They're paid off. Plus they have savings. Plus they have 401ks. Plus maybe they have another
Some
property.
Apple stock.
Yeah. So you start adding all that up, right? What other country do people have money? What country?
Yeah.
Real money.
At scale.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nobody.
there's countries with people with money. It's just small.
Yeah. Okay.
It's-
Whatever. Even in the Middle East, what was that? 50,000 people have money.
Right.
Everyone else is poor.
Yeah.
India, 50,000 people, maybe 1 million people.
Probably not 1 million.
Yeah. Think about it. You could just go to the valley and every other house is a millionaire.
Yeah. I always make that joke like to Eric, our high school best friend.
Yeah.
I was like, you realize every single one because when people complain about spending,
Yeah.
I don't want, I was like, you're all millionaires
Yeah.
because they own a house in the valley.
Yeah.
It's at least $2 million.
Easy. They all live on this side of the valley, the nice part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always say everyone's a millionaire. Why are they penny pinching?
Yeah. Well, it's cash rich is different.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You could take a loan against it.
Yeah, but I get it. I think that's the big thing. But we'll have to see in terms of if you see the impact. But then that's the argument to not lower interest rates, because the problem is that the spending power that drives inflation is not by the low income side of the factor. The problem is the spending by the upper middle class and middle class disproportionately.
But so here's the logic that I don't get, because clearly the lower bound of the economy is hurting badly.
Yeah.
Food prices are crazy.
Yeah.
Everything's so expensive. Healthcare, car insurance, I think it was 20% inflation year over year.
Yeah.
And if you lower interest rates, and how many, so they go to fucking BOA one more night a week.
Yeah.
What does that affect the lower income? You're not helping. Who cares if they go to BOA? Who cares if BOA doubles their Wagyu? Do we care?
No, but that's just you're thinking about a very isolated incident. What happens is when there is outsized demand of stuff, the people that sell that stuff raise prices. Like you gave the example of the shipping container guy.
Yeah.
That guy's just price gouging because he can.
Mm-hmm.
That is what businesses do.
Give me an example of if I think it's 5.25% is the Fed funds rate at this point. If it went down to 3, how does it affect the lower income consumer? What is more expensive if I agree. I think the high end inflates. Hotels, Rosewood, Montage, all these hotels, business class.
No, but
tickets.
everyone has more money, and when they have more money, they spend more.
But the lower bound isn't going after a BOA reservation.
No, but groceries. If groceries feel like they have more pricing power, they will raise the price.
How much more food does a family need?
What?
No, meaning like the same person that can afford groceries today isn't going to order more groceries if Fed funds rate are at 3%.
No. But that's not, you're not understanding the impact. The impact is everyone will have more cash if the interest rates drop, right? Which is good.
Yeah.
The problem is we saw what happens when people have too much cash, we spend fucking too much, and that causes inflation, which disproportionately impacts low income people. And so if we lower interest rates and people start spending more, cost of things will go up and the net will be the same.
Yeah, I guess my only, well, we can move on after this. My last takeaway is basically, I think inflation's basically affected by things that are out of everyone's control.
Some things.
Wars, climate change.
That's some things. It's not everything. There's some things that
but
are,
like your container example.
Yeah, that,
right?
Yeah.
So it's a 4X upcharge.
Yeah.
So now consumers have to spend 4X for whatever.
Yeah. I think it's
that has nothing to do with Fed fund rates could be 15%. It would not matter.
Yeah.
They can't go through the fucking.
The real problem is like if you look at where the biggest inflation has been outside of the obvious things, it's been auto insurance and health insurance. And our government is not incentivized to lower those things. They're not. Gavin, all these Democrats who are for the people, they're not regulating fucking auto insurance.
Yeah.
Instead, they have a crazy tax in gas in California. That's why our gas is more expensive than everyone else for no reason. It's a bullshit tax. So it's like, I don't think any.
Well, they're trying to get people to electric vehicles. It's a terrible mechanism. I agree.
Yeah. So that's
it's
not
stupid policy.
Yeah. Innovation is what's going to want people to get into electric cars, not by making other things more expensive.
Yeah.
And that's like stupid way of thinking that's causing a lot of these bad behaviors in the government. Like the fact that there's dude, you should cap it on California auto insurance. It lives and dies off California. We have the most goddamn drivers in the world.
For sure.
How do you not? This affects Californians' incomes more than anything else that's happening right now. Everyone is so up to here with auto insurance, and not one fucking politician in California is saying, you know what, we got to cap it. You know what, we have to put it. Why? I understand why home insurance went up. Fires. That clearly you can justify it. Auto insurance, more accidents now than there were 5 years ago?
No.
Probably less.
Yeah, I think fewer people are driving.
Not by traffic, but I'm saying is like there's
with work from home
and whatever.
No, I'm saying with work from home.
Yeah, so like even with all the crime increase, everyone says the crime hasn't increased that much. Then why the fuck is auto insurance so up? There's no rationale. The labor cost of issuing insurance should not be.
Why is auto insurance up?
Scam.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think about it logically.
There's nothing. Do you know what a scam is?
I know what a scam is.
Do you?
But why would they're just unregulated and they just keep raising premiums?
Yeah, why not?
I think maybe it's because there's fewer accidents. They're like, we need to make money. Or fewer people that have cars. Is that right? I mean, just anecdotally in LA, there's obviously still a ton of traffic, but you can get around pretty easily because what do you think? 30% of traffic probably is lower because of work from home?
30% now.
What do you think?
People are
20?
These people that do not have jobs are driving around.
Where are they going?
Everyone's driving. Ollie's driving around. Where are you going? Yeah, he's going everywhere. He's in the car every day.
He hasn't had a job in 3 years.
Yeah, he's driving everywhere. Go to the gym, go get lunch. He drive around. People are still driving around.
I do feel like traffic is better than it was pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. There's no doubt. Unless there's like some weird anomaly on construction side. In LA, traffic is down.
Yeah, because I mean, I have to sometimes drive on the 405 to go to places, and The
I
west
drive a
side.
decent amount, like all over town, and I would say that traffic objectively
So I
is down.
think that's why they just raised the prices. They're like, there's fewer people that need to be insured.
Yeah.
They may take one person off the insurance because, like, hey, I'm the only one driving.
Yeah.
You're working from home.
Yeah.
You're doing fake Zooms all day.
But yeah, I mean, so then we need to, if government wants to be, I'm never for government being involved, but auto insurance is causing probably the biggest inflation for California residents outside
or
of rent.
it's actually probably the biggest reason why, if you're not of means, you have less money to spend, and it's affecting.
I bet you so many people have rolled off of insurance and said, fuck it, I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you so many people in California and LA do not have our car insurance anymore. They're just rolling the dice.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, if you can't afford it, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, your life
Would you
goes on.
rather have your kids eat dinner
Yeah.
or pay car insurance?
Yeah. At what, the 5% chance you get into an accident?
Yeah.
Not worth it. All right. The other big news that's causing the stock market to pop is Apple had their developer conference, and in it they kind of released their whole AI strategy, and you know there were some interesting features that they're rolling out, and I think people have generally applauded kind of that what they're doing was pretty good. The big thing that I saw was, and Elon brought this out, he basically said that like these guys didn't build anything. Mm-hmm. They're using OpenAI. They're integrating that with Siri. They're integrating it within the chat. So they're basically renting OpenAI's platform while they figure out what the hell to do. And I think when you look at the features they kind of released, I would argue it's kind of disappointing. Like the Siri, I think will be the big winner of it all. Like what I think the functionality is like. I think people in general have been very disappointed in what Siri has provided and evolved into, considering it was like the first of its kind and it was so futuristic. And I think that we're going to get into like the announcements of what they came. The biggest thing that I'm shocked is that like they were not building this in the background. We just assumed, oh, Apple, they got this thing. They've been working on AI. And then when it comes out, they're like, oh, we're just going to use OpenAI to solve all of our fucking problems.
Yeah, I think Tim Cook is a magician at extracting profits. Yeah. Which he clearly has proven. Like if you look at the stock performance.
Yeah.
But the innovation's been light. We even talk about how it's really rare that everyone updates their phone. We even in our own friend group, no one updates their phone every year, and there's no innovation. And he's just really good at charging for the actual adapter versus the plug. Yeah, probably made like $5 billion.
Yeah,
and he's good at that stuff because there's 1 billion iPhone users.
Yeah, so like the features are ChatGPT integration, and this will include everything from Siri to Mail to the browsing.
Yeah.
So the Siri is their big thing, is like, in terms of like being able to give you real-time information. So the example they used is, when is mom's flight landing? And it gives you real-time flight tracking information. All great.
Yeah.
Good, cool features. AI-assisted writing tools to help you write notes and texts and emails and proofread on your behalf. Great. Image generation. So this is a built-in, really, it's going to be for iMessages and Keynote. You'll be able to describe an image in a few words and then have it rendered in a variety of styles. So I think that's pretty cool. It's like, I think it's fun and it's engaging.
Yep.
This I do not like. Real-time call transcripts. In the notes and phone apps, users will be able to record, transcribe, and summarize audio.
Don't like that at all.
Making the first time Apple devices have included a built-in feature for recording phone calls. Participants will be automatically notified that the call is being recorded. Fuck that feature.
That's terrible. Because
you know how awkward that is? Let's say you're one of these people that want to record all your conversations for whatever to be organized. You then have to tell them, please stop recording. And then how do you know they're stopped recording?
They're not.
Yeah.
Obviously they're not. Do you know how many times I'm sure you a million times, me a million times, or people were texting something and someone calls and says, "Hey,
Yeah.
I can't put this in text."
Yeah. Now you can't put it on the phone.
So you just have
I
to
got to
in
meet
person.
you in person.
Good for air travel.
Meeting in person is the new phone call. You can't do a phone call anymore.
No, you can't. And that's
Apple,
why
maybe that was their goal.
that's why Elon went ballistic.
Yeah.
Elon went on a Twitter rant, or X rant, sorry, a couple days ago saying, if OpenAI and Apple are doing this, I'm locking everyone's phones before they come into any building of mine.
Yeah.
And no one I will communicate.
I think
on
they're
Apple.
going to roll this back. I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a company do. They have like a civic responsibility as being one of the largest companies on, actually as of today, the largest company on earth, because the stock went berserk because of all of these announcements. Yeah. What's interesting is when the announcements came out, the stock actually went down because everyone felt like it was lackluster. I don't know what happened at the end of the day and then overnight, where I think people got confident. I don't see any of these tools that they built are like money generating tools.
Yep.
But I think it's just saying, okay, they're not complete idiots.
Yeah, it's crazy that.
And how much is OpenAI paying?
It's unclear.
I think they're paying crazy money.
And then you saw Elon withdrew his lawsuit from Sam Altman.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. He had a big lawsuit because it went from nonprofit to for profit.
Yeah.
And he withdrew it.
I'm sure there's backroom dealings there.
But he doesn't need money.
Not power. But I do think it is an opening. Apple just gave the first opening for a reason to have an alternative phone.
Yeah, I mean, Elon's thinking about building a phone.
Yeah. Eric
Prince has a whole phone company because you said you're just not safe on an Apple phone.
Yeah. I could see a world where the wealthy abandon Apple.
I think the wealthy will.
Yeah. I think most will not. But I think it's an opening. And that's all you need. Apple gave an opening now.
Because, like,
because, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine who has a teenage son.
Okay.
And he said that she was telling me that he doesn't post on social media.
Okay.
He communicates via Snapchat with his friends. And he said that because when the mom asked, why don't you use social media? She's like, it's not cool to be available.
It's not cool to be available. So what does that mean?
If you're on social media,
everyone can text you.
You're available.
Okay.
Like people know what's going on in your life. So if the social norm becomes to not be available, basically stop sharing, which you kind of see that with younger people. They're not posting the people that post the most are like the boomers.
Yeah.
Right? Like our
Facebook.
age and older. Like I have my age friends that post 500 times a day.
Yeah.
Right? But like, you know, younger people probably, you know, if that becomes a social norm where it's like cool to be unavailable and like not be posting and sharing, then why the fuck do you need an Apple phone?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably like 7-8 years ago, the Snapchat disappearing message was like the hot thing to do for teens.
Yeah, it still is.
I'm assuming they still are doing that.
Yeah.
And I think the younger people are, unless you're famous and you need to do it for your job.
Yep.
There's very limited upside to sharing everything about your life.
Yeah.
Whether you're rich, poor, famous. I mean, you're famous, you have to.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think people are, I mean, the first kind of thing I noticed, this is probably like 8-10 years ago. All the crypto people that were like super important that I met all had Android phones.
Yeah.
And I asked them and they were just like, it's privacy, security, Apple. I don't trust them.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, they're obviously like pioneers in that industry. And I think going forward, there could be an existential threat. And I think you're right. The wealthy will probably move off the iPhone.
Yeah. Why would you there's no point.
And if you think about like, anything can be used against you to paint whatever picture they want.
Yeah.
If you went through any of our phones, you could make all of us look like terrible people.
Yeah.
Because we say weird shit. We have arguments. We, whatever, whether it's business, personal.
Yeah.
And there's just no upside if this is where it's going. And that's why Elon was talking about AI in 2014. OpenAI didn't start till 2015.
Yeah.
And he said how scared he was and how, because the video is recirculating now on X in 2014, before OpenAI even existed, how dangerous this can be.
Yeah. It's crazy. Well, now shit's about to get real. I actually think...
I think 99% of people are okay with the police state.
Yeah.
But I think very successful people are not.
Well, because they have a lot more to lose. We have a lot more to lose, right? And in many cases, very successful people also do fucked up shit.
Exactly.
And so that is a problem.
So to your point that, successful people do fucked up shit, that's obviously, very well known. And I don't know if you saw the Kevin Spacey interview.
I got the clips, but I didn't watch it.
I saw the clips. I didn't see the whole thing.
So what happened? Tell me.
The only clip that is relevant to what your point is, Kevin Spacey said he was on a trip with the Clinton Foundation. I don't know where they were going.
Yeah, a long time ago, I said, right?
Long time ago. It was like 20 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
And he said Epstein was there.
Yeah.
And they were going for some humanitarian effort.
Yeah.
No idea where. And he said...
He has pictures with Maxwell everywhere, Kevin Spacey. He was obviously
Maxwell was on the plane, Epstein was on the plane, and the Clintons were on the plane.
Bill and Hillary?
I don't know if both. Definitely Billy.
I doubt... Billy was there. I don't know about Hillary. Hillary was not there.
And he just said, I don't know why there were so many young girls on this plane.
What do you mean you don't know, you fucking liar?
Agree. But my point is, he didn't reference if they were under or over 18. So that's the assumption, they were all under 18.
Yeah.
But the point is, why are young girls going on this humanitarian effort?
Yeah.
Paid for by the Clinton Foundation, which has raised tens of billions of dollars from donors.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Those people don't need the iPhone.
No. Bill Clinton should be the first person to get rid of... He should call up Eric Prince right now. He should never have he shouldn't have a phone.
He shouldn't have a phone. Steve Cohen doesn't have a phone.
Yeah. Dude, what goals? Not to have a phone is so rich.
You're so rich.
I do not give a fuck about the time. I don't care if you can call me. I don't care if...
I think that is the new flex. That's going to be the new flex.
That's what I'm saying. Kids are doing it. Being unavailable. It's cool. The cultural shift will be to be unavailable. Be a ghost.
I do think we're probably... we're not in that generation to be unavailable. Texting is toxic. Like, if I look at my phone right now, we're recording, it's like I have 100 texts of nonsense. Yeah, nothing important.
You're an instigator of nonsense too. You talk nonsense all day on all these chats. I see at the end of the night, I'm reviewing, you were asking you're talking about everything from sports to food, about some guys, just like nonsense. You like it. You're toxic.
I am.
Yeah.
I'll take the blame for it. I'm toxic and I think it's stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid. That's why I have to mute you guys.
Yeah. You don't even look at your phone.
I look at it at night. I occasionally, like, if I'm bored on a Zoom call, I'll pop in.
On a flight, you're firing.
On a flight, I'm all like, or I'm waiting.
You're asking about, whatever.
Shit. Yeah, I want to be toxic. When I have free time, I'd love to engage. But you guys are talking about tennis at 8:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. Like, I don't have time for that. You're talking about French Open. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I was in Paris.
By the way, I saw USA got robbed in the cricket match today against India.
I didn't even know what happened. I know they were playing.
I found it on TikTok because I was turning on my TV because it started early this morning. So I wanted to watch a little bit of it and I couldn't find it on TV. It's like Fubo or Sling. I don't have those. Yeah. So finally someone messaged me and was, "Are you watching this match?" And I was like, "No, how do you watch it?" He's like,
how are you reading that text?
That's a work-related person texted me.
You thought there was like a deal on the table.
Yeah,
And
why
you
not?
got cricket.
Yeah, he
instead.
said he was an Indian, talked to me about cricket. And then I was like, how do you watch it? And he's like, I have like some illegal stream. So I go to TikTok and I search cricket and someone's literally live streaming the game. So I watched 5 minutes of it. And apparently Team USA got robbed.
So from my understanding, Ken, who obviously you know, I
Yeah.
was asking him, I was like, what is this tournament?
Yeah.
And are the stars playing?
Yeah.
And he said all the stars in India are playing.
Okay.
So Virat Kohli, who's like
Yeah.
considered the best cricket
So
player.
USA did really well. They fared,
pretty amazing.
They barely lost today.
And yeah, I don't know anything about cricket, but I do know a few of the big star names. And he said everyone's playing. He's
Wow.
like, it's a big deal.
Yeah. The ticket prices are insane.
And you know, there's a U.S. cricket league launching.
Yeah.
So I think L.A. Shah Rukh Khan, who's
Yeah.
the biggest Bollywood star in the world. And I think New York is the Ambani family, which is the richest Indian family. So there's like a movement.
Yeah.
It's like this ancillary sports, which are growing. Like lacrosse is bigger now.
Yeah.
MLS is way bigger now. And now they're launching cricket. Basically, no one wants to consume anything on television other than Netflix
And sports.
and sports.
Yeah.
That's it.
People will watch any sport. I'm watching
College
cricket
World
today.
Series? College World Series about to launch. It's going to fucking
Yeah.
fly.
I watched the early regional games. They're
Yeah.
fun.
Even the NHL, which I don't even know who watches NHL,
Yeah.
the ratings are on fire.
Yeah. Because just sport gambling helps.
Gambling helps.
Everyone's gambling on everything.
Yeah. No, that's probably right. I think gambling helps, but every sport seems to be an uptick. And I don't know, the NHL being like, I think it's like 15% increase year over year for
Crazy.
the Stanley Cup finals. And if it weren't for Pat McAfee, I wouldn't know one player on either team. He
Yeah.
keeps bringing one guy on.
Yeah.
And I can't even pronounce his last name, but I know his first name's Matt. And
Is he a
plays,
hockey player?
yeah, he plays for the Florida Panthers. They're
Okay.
up 2-0.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I know who he is.
Good for Pat McAfee. All right, let's move on. I found this to be very interesting. There was an article that came out around cell phone activity in almost every major downtown area in the U.S. is currently well below 2019 levels. So, for example, in San Francisco, cell phone activity is currently at just 57% of pre-pandemic levels. Minneapolis is down 56% since the pandemic.
56 is insane.
Yeah. So even Miami, downtown Miami, which has exploded, cell phone activity is at 82% of 2019 levels. So that's clearly a work from home thing,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
But wouldn't they be on their phone more? They're watching
But they don't
Netflix?
live in downtowns.
Got it.
Most people do not live in the metropolitan downtown. Like if you have a family, more than likely you're not living in a downtown in any city in the world.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. You know, it's funny. So I'm a 9-hour plus daily phone usage.
Yeah.
When I was
Very
traveling,
available.
when I was
You're
traveling,
the epitome of uncool.
2 hours a day.
Where are you traveling?
When I was traveling,
Yeah. Because
that's a pretty big reduction.
Delta. Maybe you should be doing more shit.
But yeah, or it's actually worse because you're not doing shit. You're just walking around looking at shit.
Yeah, but that's probably more healthier. You're better off being a tourist in LA than your current state. Like, you know what? I'm going to go see a museum today. Pretend like you're in Paris every day. Go for a walk. Walk to the office instead of taking Uber.
It's dangerous.
Paris is dangerous too.
That's what everyone said. I didn't feel it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing about LA. Like, it's dangerous where you go in LA and when you go. 3:30 in the morning, you walk in anywhere in any city, you might get
Yeah,
jacked.
we weren't out late. We were out, it was normal hours.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Let's move on to winners, losers, and content. Who is your winner of the week?
Will Smith.
He's back, huh?
What a comeback. He slapped the shit out of one of the other most famous African Americans in Hollywood on the biggest stage in entertainment.
Yep.
And everyone was mortified so many people came out against him, including Dave Chappelle, who we saw Will Smith with Dave Chappelle like years ago.
Yeah.
And he launched Bad Boys with Martin Lawrence, and they doubled box office revenue expectations. So they were expecting 30 and then 30 million domestically and then 60 cumulatively with global.
Yep.
And it was 55 and 104 on the first weekend.
Who is going to the fucking movies?
If I was in town, I would have gone and seen it. I'm going to go see it this weekend. I mean, it must be really good.
So that just tells you, because the box office, there was a summer slump started, and it just tells you you're not giving the people what they want. You know, there's too much nonsense content being made. What we want to see guns, blowing up shit.
And superstars.
And superstars. That's key. But the type of movies, Hollywood thinks we want all this like nonsense bullshit. We want like super alpha, fucking shoot everyone in the face with Will Smith, Tom Cruise, the same people from 30 years ago.
It's the same stars.
And the reason why is I don't think Hollywood is doing a good job of cultivating talent and being patient with people.
I will. Okay, so that's fair.
You have to be patient.
So let's talk about two different things. One is the world clearly didn't give a shit that he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
No.
Which is interesting,
Whether
to say
they
the
ca-
least.
Who cares?
Do you think people like it increases popularity?
It was kind of like, you know how there's people like Democrats are saying the Republicans have changed their tune on Donald Trump since he got convicted as a felon. Nobody changed their vote
No, of
on
course
either
not.
side.
No one did.
Who people that were voting for him or can continue it, people are not going to vote for him, continue to not vote for him. It's people. This is just talk.
Yeah. So it was interesting that it had no effect on his
And
career.
he's doing the press tours. Like he's on everything.
And you know, he does this, he's popping. I saw this on TikTok. He goes to like
The movies.
and then he has a mask on so no one knows.
It's all about being relatable now. I'm the nice guy superstar from your neighborhood celebrity. Everyone's going to get to meet Will Smith the next year.
Because Stephen A. Smith actually went on a rant about Will Smith and how mad he was
Yeah.
and how he didn't want to support him. He had to retract it all. Because
Yeah.
Will Smith's just too big.
Yeah. Maybe he's CIA.
Yeah, he might be a plant. And then the second thing, I think there is a few stars that are blockbuster. Gosling is blockbuster.
Didn't he just bomb some movie? Fall
Gosling?
Guy? Fall Guy was Gosling. Bombed. Bomb guy.
My boy, Glenn Powell, #1 movie on Netflix, Hitman.
Yeah, what's his movie about?
Hitman, no idea. But he's like a good-looking white
Yeah.
dude.
The
like,
problem is he needs to like not do a Netflix movie.
but there's only a few franchises that
I
like
know, yeah,
Bad
he needs
Boys,
to go be
Top
Spider-Man
Gun.
or something.
I mean, he'll do the next Top Gun.
Yeah, you need to do like we still associate true star power with the movie theater. Not like when I see a Netflix show and they're Netflix famous, that's not the same as Will Smith.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't treat them the
but
same.
it's also interesting that the same titles from 20 years ago are the ones winning. Top Gun.
Because we're the same
Bad
people going to
Boys.
movies.
Yeah.
The same guy. The same guy that went to Bad Boys 1 is going to Bad Boys 17 or whatever this is now.
Yeah, I guess, what is a Barbie did a shit, I think they did $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
So that was a new,
But it's
Movie,
like an
whatever.
iconic, it's like one of the most iconic toys ever.
yeah, there aren't a lot that just break numbers.
My winner,
Mm-hmm.
Shein.
Mm-hmm.
Shein is filing to go public.
Wow, I didn't know that.
London Stock Exchange.
Yeah, they can't do America.
Nope. 2023 sales up 40%. Guess what they were?
2023 sales? Or
Yep.
So we're in 24, obviously. 35 billion.
32.
Okay.
1.6 billion of profit.
So they're probably pricing at 100.
Pricing in the 60s.
Cheap. That should get a
A
bigger
pop. That's going to get a pop
Yeah, I would love to be in that pre-IPO round.
because They're going for Amazon.
Yeah.
They're not going to end at
So
50 billion in sales. They're
So
gonna,
because they're in London, so does that mean the Russians and Chinese all get the pre-IPO allocation?
for sure. What is London Stock Exchange? Is that some fraud exchange or it's a real?
I mean, it's fine, but like if you're a real company, you have to.
Yeah.
They're doing it for a reason. They might have been lower fees. I don't know if you heard.
Fees? Who cares about the fees? They're fucking $160 billion
But
company.
did you hear All In? They were talking about that new stock exchange that BlackRock's backing.
I read the article. So Citadel and BlackRock are backing
because they
Texas.
just think it's just inefficient here.
It's
So Sheehan is basically like, we don't need anyone.
We're profitable.
We're profitable.
We don't give a shit if you don't buy our stock.
And if they trade in New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, there's this thing called KYC.
Yeah.
Know your customer.
Yeah. They don't want you to know.
They don't want to know
Yeah.
who's investing.
Yeah, maybe London goes.
I mean, they're probably going to 2x on day one
yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
Because anyone can buy in London. London's entire economy is based on crooks.
Yeah. Arabs and Russians.
Everyone basically makes or steals money from a third world or foreign country and parks it in London because it's a great city, great restaurants,
Good vibes.
good vibes.
Hookah.
They protect you,
Yeah.
and that's what they do.
Yeah.
So
The
imagine
Sheens-
what the London Stock Exchange is. That doesn't. There's plenty of crooked shit going on here in America, but London's entire economy is based on crooked.
Yeah. Well, Shane's going to have a nice pop then.
Yeah. How do we get that pre-IPO? Someone on the pod know someone at the London Stock Exchange?
I mean, who's the banker? I'm sure it's still Goldman Sachs.
I'm
They're
sure
just-
it's Goldman, of course.
Oh, yeah, whatever. They're just doing it in London.
Yep.
Hot. Loser.
Loser, I know you guys touched on it on the last episode. While I was traveling, I was listening about Caitlin Clark and how the women's basketball community is not understanding why she needs to be on this Olympic team.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So I want to give a little history lesson because we're older than a lot of our listeners. In 1992, we had this thing called the Dream Team, which is the greatest basketball exposition.
There's a great documentary on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Magic Johnson, I looked it up. November 7th, 1991, announced he had HIV.
Yeah.
He was on the Olympic team that summer.
Mhm.
David Stern knew Larry Bird had like a broken back, basically. He could barely stand.
Yeah.
But Magic and Larry built the league in the 80s to now hand it over to Jordan.
Yep.
And David Stern's like, no, they're on the team.
Yep.
We didn't even understand HIV back then. Like now you can actually live with it. There's medications. But back then, like,
You thought he was dead.
yeah, everyone.
And contagious.
Yeah, we thought he was contagious.
Yeah.
And there was like, we need our stars.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do about performance.
Did you show up for practice?
Yeah, none of that shit. And the fact that women are like, we got to respect the women that built the league before, da da da. But like, your only shot is her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ride the wave.
She's the biggest star on the fucking planet in women's sports, period. How do you not have her on? And it's just so disappointing how they're doubling down.
Yeah.
I hear all these like female ex-NBA, WNBA players doubling down on like why Caitlin Clark shouldn't be on. Like, why are you hating?
Because it's generated by like there's just this inherent like one, when someone's winning, you always have to hate. Right? Like when the Warriors kept winning, everyone hated them. Right? Now everyone loves Steph Curry because he's not beating anyone.
And then here's the other thing about the Dream Team. Christian Laettner was on the Dream Team.
Yeah.
He was the number one college basketball player, and David Stern's like, maybe he's the next guy.
So I got it. It's a marketing decision.
It's a marketing decision.
Yep.
And his career didn't pan out. But
it's okay. That's
fine.
Yeah. I don't
take
think
a
anyone
gamble.
wanted.
Christian Laettner was not the 10th best player in the NBA at the time.
No. You just do what's right for.
And that's why David Stern is known as one of the greatest commissioners of all time. And it was like Roger Goodell style. You do what's good for the sport. And the women's basketball whole arena is failing.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
Because you have your moment.
You have your moment. Just double down on her. Everyone will benefit.
If she was in Paris, I guarantee it would be fucking bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. It's a tough one. Because I think like it's now like an emotional thing. So it's just
no, they're not going to put her on.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over. And like all the faces of women's basketball that literally were irrelevant till this last 6 months are now like taking their 10 minutes of fame because no one knew who any of you were until Caitlin Clark.
Yep. That's fair. My loser is, it's actually just sad now. Sleepy. I mean, that Juneteenth party he was at, his face.
The memes were good though.
Memes are good. As much as I'm not a fan. I do not want to see the president of the United States portrayed in this fashion. I think it's just bad for optics and confidence as a group of citizens. They got to make the switch fast. So the big conspiracy that came out was Hunter got convicted.
Yep.
So Sleepy wanted to stay to pardon his son. And now he has the excuse, I'm a part of my son. I'm going to watch my family now. Like I should, I'm getting old. I got to spend time with my kids and grandkids and things of that nature. If Sleepy does that, I think he goes out with some dignity. Even if the Democrats lose the election, I think they're in a great place. But to fucking put this poor guy through, you're ruining his legacy.
Yeah.
He was like this iconic American politician. Now he's a joke.
It's bad in the internet era. There's no question.
Yeah.
But I think that's just like the state of the country. Everyone's ideologically based and doesn't matter who the candidate is.
The way, okay, I can live with all the ideological differences.
It's like
it's the memes.
The gap is narrowing.
Yeah.
Trump was like on fire 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now the gap's narrowing.
Yeah.
Biden's gaining.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he's gaining.
When he's gaining in the polls.
Yeah. I'm just saying from who? Who is seeing like that guy? I feel good about I don't believe the polls. There's no sound-minded person is looking at America and looking at those memes and saying, you know what? I'm more confident in Sleepy than I was 6 weeks ago. Unless the fear that Trump is going to win is driving people to vote for Biden.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it.
If you actually can confidently come to me and tell me, no, he is more competent than he was 6 weeks ago, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's just party lines. And I really, they do those like CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, those swing voters. What could someone say that would swing your vote?
Me?
No, not you. The swing voter, because in these states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
I think it's fake that they don't have an opinion. I think it's, will they come to vote?
At this point, how do you not have a decision? Because it's just party lines at this point. Like it's not 20 years ago where like there's subtleties between opinions. The opinions are very different.
I'm a swing voter.
Are you?
Yeah. I haven't made up my mind.
Well, California, you're irrelevant.
I'm RFK.
There you go. You should vote for him.
Yeah, I will. He got 9%. He's pulling 9%. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. And Silicon Valley went full Trump.
Yeah, hot.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. No one thought that was going to happen. He's anti-everything. He's anti-crypto. We know he's anti-AI. He's anti-getting business done.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm the last liberal everyone knows.
Yeah, you're it.
One person.
Dying breed.
We
should put you up in the museum.
At the event I was at, I would wonder if
100% was
probably 90.
90. 95. How many people were there?
Can't say.
So let's say there was 100 just to keep numbers round. Yeah, I'd say 93.
Me and Amanda were the last.
Yeah, and I could picture who the other few were. There's no way all those other people are. Zero chance. All right.
Content.
Roger
Federer's speech at the Dartmouth graduation. It's gone viral on the internet. We posted it. It's just an amazing way how he was able to translate all the lessons he learned from tennis to life.
It's so good.
And I know we played tennis growing up. Obviously we weren't like competitive or whatever, but like you understand it. I don't know if you need to play tennis to understand his lessons, but it was a magnificent speech, and he just is. I feel like Tom Brady, Kobe, obviously he's passed. They have this. The greats are able to transfer their greatness to like the next stage of their life.
Yes, I think because I was thinking the same thing. I was like when you look at Tom Brady speak now, you're like, fuck, this guy's so dope. Yeah. Or Kobe speak, or Shaq, or all of these people. Like when you hear them speak and articulate, like
they're basically giving the secrets that they all had.
But now they're great. Like, all right, I'll tell you now.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
And I think what's interesting is the through line of Federer's speech that I thought was the most important part was the beginning where he said,
effortless is a myth.
Yes.
Because he if anyone watches tennis, if you ever watched him,
he never looked like he was trying.
No, it was just like he was this regal, like kind of amazing talent that just was able to beat the shit out of everyone. And I thought the other interesting thing was he said he's played like 1,500 some odd Masters.
Oh yeah,
he's won 80% of them, which is fucking bananas.
Yeah,
and he's only won 54% of his points.
Yeah. Game of inches.
So, and then he translated that in life. Like you just have to be
a little bit better.
Point. A little bit better. Yeah. And I thought the other interesting last thing to say about it is he translated like if you lose a point, you have to put it behind you. Yeah. And negative energy is wasted energy. Move on to the next point. And that's applicable to all of life.
Yeah. It's great. It was incredible. I would say my content is that as well. I don't think I
have one more content, which is completely opposite.
Okay.
The Kai Cenat live stream with Kevin Hart.
And Drewski.
The clips are so good.
Yeah. I mean,
he went on till 4 a.m.
All of them?
All of them. I only saw the clips.
How many people watch these streams? Like millions?
So Kevin Hart called LeBron James.
Yeah.
And they were at 700,000 from the clip I saw.
And it costs $0 because it's like in his bedroom.
He called Rich Paul.
Where does Kai live?
I don't know.
He must live in LA if all these people are showing up to his house. This guy makes like $50 million a year. What is it?
Yeah, I think it's just go on the clips.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the stream. I just watched the clips.
Yeah, it looks funny. Their mannerisms are funny. Yeah, the content, I would go with the Roger Federer speech. It was so good. I don't really watch anything, so I thought that was great. All right, moving on. We have some shout outs to get through. First one is from Mike. Finally played We're Not Really Strangers, and I think I may have found the one. Thanks, Drama. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That's good for you, Mike.
Good for you. Next one from Amanda. I want to shout out Gavin for quitting his mechanical engineering job to teach himself coding and building a website teaching other people how to code. Nothing comes easy, and believing in yourself comes first. There you go. Wow, that's awesome. Next, from Ryan. Shout out to the whole group chat crew, D and Drama.
He's missing
giving us the pod 2 times a week.
Fuck you, Ryan.
Yeah, that was a good. I like that shout out. Just call it out. Next one from Mitchell. Shout out to my amazing wife, Haley, who is 7 months pregnant and encourages me to break 90 before the baby comes.
Very supportive wife.
Yeah, because you ain't never playing golf again, brah. Next up from Sky. Shout out to Drama for getting me started on podcast. Been listening since the short story long days. Interesting how we have evolved over that time. Love the insight you all bring to the world. Long time, Kathy from Utah. Thanks, Sky. A lot of nice shout outs to Drama. Next.
The guy shows up for 3 episodes for the whole year.
He's hot. That's white privilege. He's a Caitlin Clark of our pod. Next up from Brandon. Shout out to my boy Jarius Morris for taking a risk 2 years ago, leaving his job and putting everything he has into the first Black-owned premium insulated water bottle brand. A bottle is a bottle, but your story, passion, and mission to improve the health and wellness in urban communities through the importance of hydration is inspiring. 2 years in, many collaborations and brand partnerships later, and although cliche, it feels like we are just getting started. Honored to stand alongside you in this journey. Count your days, Stanley. Hydration meets culture. What's the brand's name? We could have plugged the brand and send us some water bottles.
Love a water bottle. Plastics fuck your testicles up.
Yeah, but what do you need your testicles? You're done. Are you having kids still? What do you need your testicles for?
The brand's name is Supplement.
Supplement?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Spelled out exactly like supplement?
SUPLMNT.
Okay, great. Well, congrats on the brand, and let us know how we can support. My last shout out is kind of sad. A childhood friend of mine passed on Saturday, had a heart attack, 2 kids, a runner.
Iron Man.
Yeah, just Solomon Choi.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've known Solomon since we were little kids. Went to USC together. Spent a lot of time with him in New York. One of our listeners, actually, that I follow, posted him. I didn't even know they knew each other. He owns restaurants in New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, very sad. Valley guy. Our thoughts and prayers. Well, you can't really say shit. It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I did Kumon with him. He taught me how to play Street Fighter 2. Family Fun Arcade. Went to USC together.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He sat in my dorm room every night playing video games with Ali and I. Just life is short.
And he was healthy. That's the scary part.
Yeah, I think what fucked me up was that he was he's literally like my age, 2 kids. Shit's scary. Sorry, guys, to leave you on a sad note, but it was important for me to.
Yeah, because a lot of people that listen actually know who he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We'll get back at it on Sunday. Hopefully Drama, after all his fame for showing up for 3 episodes in 2024, shows up, but we'll be back.
All right, guys, have a great weekend.